Hi there, everyone. Welcome to today's Lean Publishing Tip of the Day live stream. Today, we're going to be talking about the best ways you can get support from Leanpub and from the Leanpub team. As usual, I'll take the first minute to do a little bit of housekeeping. If you like these videos, please subscribe to our channel at Leanpub on YouTube. You'll find the Lean Publishing Tips of the Day there under the playlist for Lean Publishing Tip of the Day. And you'll also find all kinds of other great content like new release videos, book and course launch videos, Leanpub podcast videos, explainer videos, and cool shorts to watch in your spare time and all kinds of stuff like that. We also always have an accompanying blog post for these Lean Publishing Tips of the Day. If you go to our blog at leanpub.com/blog, you'll be able to find this. If you don't see the article there on the sort of like main blog page, just click that magnifying glass on the top right there and search for the keywords that you see in the screen share here, and then you'll be able to find the article. The article today in particular has a lot of really helpful links in it. So if you're looking for, if you're starting getting used to using Leanpub and you're like, where can I get help if I need it? Where can I find answers to questions, things like that? This is actually going to be a really good resource. There's other articles like this on our Author Help Center, and which is also searchable, of course. It has, like, over, as I talked about in a recent Lean Publishing Tip of the Day, has over 1,000 articles in it. Not there for you to read all of them, but for you to be able to search all of them for instant answers to your questions. You can also, in addition to sort of subscribing to our YouTube channel, you can sign up for the Lean Publishing Daily Newsletter. There's a link at the top of every one of these Lean Publishing, or a button at the top of each one of these Lean Publishing Tip of the Day blog posts, where you can sign up for the newsletter. When you get the newsletter every weekday in your inbox, you'll get a newsletter that has actually really great like deals on Leanpub ebooks and courses and bundles. And you can scroll down and then you'll find the Lean Publishing Tip of the Day there. So that's something we would recommend as well. If you like taking, a few minutes, 10 to usually like 5 to 20 minutes out of your day to, watch me or read an article about, how you can improve your self-publishing game on Leanpub, then I definitely recommend you sign up for the Lean Publishing Daily Newsletter. Okay, so today we're talking about getting support from Leanpub. Now, I'm gonna save a little kind of Chinese martial arts parable for the end of this video, which is my favorite way of explaining how basically online platform support should work. So I'll have that little parable at the end, but I'll start with a kind of redux version of what that parable is all about, which is ideally you'll never have to contact us about anything, and I don't mean that from our perspective. I mean that from your perspective. If you think about sort of doing ordinary things in your day, like flicking on a light switch, you don't want to have to contact the electric company. You just want it to work. So ideally, Leanpub just works. So the best thing to do is to just start by going to the Create Book page, by going to leanpub.com/create/book, create a book, and hopefully everything will be straightforward enough for you for it all to work without ever needing to search an article, search our help center, go looking around, stuff like that. You'll still have to learn Leanpub if you're new to it, but ideally the way it works will sort of like allow you to learn as you go along the steps to previewing, writing in our browser mode, for example, creating a preview of your ebook so that you can see the PDF and the EPUB before you publish that version of it, and then publishing your book, and then learning how to publish new versions and things like that. I'm reminded of, I think there's a famous example from video games where Super Mario Brothers, you kind of can't you can't survive the first 30 seconds without actually learning the basics of the game. So they actually don't need a tutorial or a kind of instruction booklet or anything like that. It's baked into the design of the game, is learning how to use it. And so that's actually the ideal form of design for an online platform. But with all that said, publishing a book and is complicated. And in addition to that, the really important thing is like discovering all the features that we have. How would you know if you just start getting started using Leanpub that we have coupon links that you can create, for example, to do really cool, interesting sales online whenever it's a good moment for it. As I speak, Black Friday is coming up. So, like creating Black Friday discount coupons would be great. You're obviously not going to be able to kind of know how to do that ex nihilo. You're going to have to go into Leanpub and find instructions and stuff like that somewhere. But with that said, if you go to the landing, like the overview page for a Leanpub book, which is like you create a book, you'll see an overview link in the menu at the top left. There will be a page there called coupons. You can click on it, and hopefully it's all self-explanatory there. So ideally, you don't have to do anything, but we do have lots of really great resources. If you create a book in our browser mode, which is the default writing mode, you'll go here to the right tab. If you click useful links, you'll find links to the help center there, and the authors forum. But actually, really importantly, at the top right of the menu, you will see a help link. And if you go to the help link, you'll see a kind of explanation of where you can go for help and stuff like that. Crucially, you'll also see a link to walkthroughs there. But on this help page, you can see links to everything I'm going to be talking about in this video. If you go to the walkthroughs help center article, you will find links to screenshot by screenshot, step-by-step walkthroughs for everything. At the top is the browser mode walkthrough. So if you click on that, you should get everything you need to learn how to get started. Like we start with creating a book. You can see this really helpful menu that Intercom provides in their help center on the right for all the sections. So getting started, the right tab, creating a preview, writing in your book, etc. There's screenshots for everything. So you hopefully should be able to just, walk through this yourself and find all the answers that you need. Now, if there's a feature you're looking for that you can't find, or if there's, if you're having problems that you, can't resolve on your own, what you're going to want to do is you're going to probably want to start by going to our author help center and searching there. This is at help.leanpub.com. There's lots of links around Leanpub for you to find it. If you can't find an answer there on our help center, then actually we recommend that you go to the Leanpub authors forum at community.leanpub.com and you try searching there. And if you can't find an answer there, one thing you can actually do is like create a post, a new topic, and you can say, hey, I'm a new Leanpub author, or I'm an experienced Leanpub author. There's a feature I'm having trouble using something. I'm having trouble, finding something. There's something I think should be there, but I can't find it, etc. You can actually create a new topic. And then what the great thing about the help center is that the help center is live 24/7 with instant answers to any question that you ask. The great thing about the authors forum is that, with respect to any past activity, it's live 24/7 support with answers to all of your questions, essentially because of, sort of like, every post is saved. But also we've got a community of authors from all around the world and all kinds of time zones and stuff like that. So you might find that someone answers you right away and they're like, oh yeah, I had the same problem myself. Here was my solution. Things like that. But so we have all these really great resources, but actually the best resource we have, in my opinion, is basically our Leanpub author support guidelines. And what I'm trying to get at in this video and this tip of the day is the sort of best support we can give you is sort of, a lot of people don't like the term, but like some guidelines about best practices. And the number one thing in self-publishing and indie, otherwise known as indie publishing, is those terms, self and indie. You want to be able to do everything on your own. If you can't do something on your own, then that's, a problem, because that's what self-publishing is supposed to be. That's how things like operations like this scale. You shouldn't have to be asking us for advice directly, basically ever. That doesn't mean you won't sometimes need to, but if you do, we want to have the right guidance for you at that stage. So going back to to the main blog post about this topic about getting Leanpub support. Once you've sort of checked out all of these resources, and by the way, when you're used to the help center and the authors forum and stuff like that, it's just like typing some queries, basically typing some questions. It's not like you have to spend an exhaustive amount of time trying to find an answer. You'll do a few searches, and if you don't find an answer, then you'll move on to the next step. And the next step, when you've exhausted all these resources after a couple of minutes, is to contact us. Now, you can contact us at hello@leanpub.com. One thing, so like this is actually going to be kind of funny, kind of inside baseball thing, but one thing when you run an online platform like ours is you encounter people who just make stuff up. So we'll get people who will just email at leanpub.com, not an email address that we document anywhere. They just decide that's what they want to send an email to, or support at leanpub.com or something like that. If you go to our contact page, you'll see that our contact email address is hello@leanpub.com. Please email that email address if you need support. On that note, the most important thing you can do first is to make sure that you're emailing us from the email address that you use for your Leanpub account. All of these things I'm saying here to save you time, by the way, and to save you effort. So please email us from the email address you use for your Leanpub account. There are lots of reasons for this that for example, we can't talk about your account if you email us from some other email address, because anybody can email us from any other email address. Only you can email us from your email address. And so you should, whenever you contact us for help, you should contact us from your Leanpub account email address. The other reason for that, in addition to security and privacy, is if we have to look up something, like if you talk about my book, well, how do we know what that is? But if you use your Leanpub account email address, that makes it really easy for the team to just search and find all the kind of relevant information about your account. So please, the number one starting point, if you're contacting us, is to contact us from your Leanpub account email address. The second thing to save you a lot of time is if you're talking about a book or course or ebook bundle or course track, please include a link to that book or course or track. It might seem really obvious to you. Well, like how does Leanpub not know who I am, or like can't they just check my account? And how do they not know about what book I'm talking about? And it's like, we deal with lots and lots of people all around the world all the time. If you have a link to the book or course in your email to us, there's this confirmation about exactly where to look for the right place, so no one on our end makes mistakes and ends up wasting your time. Always, please, if you're talking about a book or course, etc., something that you're working on Leanpub, please include a link to that. It'll save you so much time and so many kind of miscommunications and things like that. The next point, so that was this second point. The next point is that, now this is easier said than done. Please try to be as precise as possible in your in your question. Now, we don't expect you to have a PhD in Leanpub and know all the terminology and use the terms correctly, but try and be as precise as possible. Saying like, "There's a problem with my book." We're just going to have to waste your time by like replying to you going, "We're sorry, we need further clarification here." So please try and provide as much information as you can. Now, the best way to provide information precisely as possible is actually a kind of one that sort of supersedes the kind of constraints of language, which is a screenshot. Please share a screenshot of any issue that you encounter. If you say, for example, I'm seeing X, Y, Z. Please, if you're seeing it, you can take a screenshot of it on your screen and you can share it with us. That was the number one most important thing. And the reason, again, it saves so much time is like, we have our own internal terms. You might have your own way of talking about something, but we all see the same thing. And so if you can share a screenshot of what you're seeing, then it helps, just like speeds up the process incredibly. And so that's what this second last bullet point is about. It's really, really helpful to give us screenshots when you're reporting issues. And the last thing I have here is that if you're having a particular problem with the contents of your book or course, please point us to the specific part of the file. So for example, if you're having an issue with an image, this image isn't the right width in my book, or this image is, not appearing at all, for example, please point us to the page in the book where you're seeing this problem, specifically the PDF version, like on page 56 of the PDF of the latest preview of my book, this image isn't appearing correctly. That will save us all, but most importantly, save you a lot of time. Our goal as a self-publishing or indie publishing platform is to make things as seamless and work as well for you as they possibly can. So when you're contacting us, that's why we're giving you this guidance, is that this will actually, we see people kind of, wasting their own time a lot by just not following these kind of guidelines. So please follow these guidelines. Please share a screenshot. The other more kind of philosophical, or I guess kind of productivity hack element to the discussion of, seeking support from any platform is, do I really need this? Is a question to ask yourself as well. Um, we have limited, resources, we have priorities and things like that. And so if you're asking us to do something, um, one thing to think about is, do I actually really need that? um you know do I really, like, if you're already thinking about it, you're already spending time that you could be spending doing something else, thinking about this thing. Do you really need it? Is it really that important? Is it really a priority? In given this sort of all the kind of questions that we're asking and all the interests that our authors have around the world all the time, where is that going to end up in our priority queue? um so it's important to think about all these things. But actually, one of the things we actually get very few contacts from authors, and the only reason for that is because so many authors have contacted us over the years for support for problems that they've encountered on Leanpub. Every time someone contacts us, we treat it as a sign of a systemic issue that's our responsibility to solve. Whether that's with better, design in our platform, whether that's better explanations, better documentation, whether it's, features we should build or features we should take away. Every time someone contacts us, that's a sign of an issue that we need to kind of solve something. But there's, a sort of famous issue thing in the, the hardest kind of problem to solve is basically people who aren't um, following basically the kind of guidelines that I've just set out. That just, it creates a sort of category of problem on its own that there's very little we can do other than, provide guidelines like this to try and solve. Because if you're sort of saying, like, if you're being vague or something like that, all we can do is reply and ask for you to be more precise. But that being said, we love hearing from authors. All, as I always say when I give these guideline kind of talks, we love hearing from authors. We love, feature requests, stuff like that. Do you have a way to do this? Asking us where you can find something that you just invented in your head that we have and we don't have is not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is to ask where, if we have it. Um, uh, but anyway, all that being said, yeah, today's Lean Publishing tip of the day was about getting support from Leanpub. Hopefully you won't ever need to. If we've done our job well, you won't ever need to get support from us. If you do ever need support from us, we're happy to hear from you. Please follow these basic guidelines that I outlined here and that you can find on the accompanying blog post for getting support from Leanpub. If you like learning a little bit about the Lean Publishing process, if you like learning about our platform and how you can maybe improve your self-publishing game, I recommend you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Leanpub. You can also sign up for the Lean Publishing Daily Newsletter. You can find a banner at the top of our homepage at leanpub.com where you can sign up for that. Yeah, and thanks very much, everyone, as always, for watching this live stream.